Welcome to the April 21st episode of Java with Josh. My setup has changed a little bit, if you might have noticed. Um, Probably not a huge change from your end. I'm currently waiting on a mic. I've got exciting news and I will share it next week. But I wanted to start with some things for this week. First, I want to welcome you. Cyber insecurity is for everyone, whether you are a student, whether you're brand new to cybersecurity, whether you're transitioning, whether you're getting out of the military, whether you've been in cybersecurity for a while, maybe you're a C-level. Hopefully, we have engaging, useful discussion and conversation that you want to be part of. One of our guests has claimed real conversations with real people, and that's what we're trying to do here. I'm Josh Mason. I'm going to give you a little background about myself in just a bit and what we're doing with resume reviews today. Um, but first, I want to say if you are in YouTube or on LinkedIn, thank you for coming today. And we've got moderators in chat on at least on YouTube. I don't know if Chris is going to be up on LinkedIn, but if you get timed out or banned, please go to our Discord channel and you can talk to our moderators there. I trust our moderators explicitly. They try to keep chats free of spam bots, any racist, sexist, misogynistic, elitist, or otherwise toxic conversation and discussion that just detracts from your ability to actually be engaged in what we're saying and what we're talking about here. We want you to have your voice. If you have questions, feel free to throw those into chat. If you are on LinkedIn, I'm going to try to follow along with you there through Restream. And if you are on YouTube, then I'm going to be leaning on Chris to throw comments my way, or I'll self-moderate. See how that goes. A few things about me. So my background, I graduated from the Air Force Academy back in 2009, and then I flew C-130s for about 6 years for the United States Air Force, along with my wife, who also flew C-130s. In 2016, we changed careers. She got out for medical reasons, and I switched into cyber warfare. Worked at the Special Operations Communications Squadron down at Hurlburt. Was like the one squadron at the same base that Neal Bridges was at, but different squadrons. Ran the communications for all 7,000 endpoints, all 9,000 users on that base, including Air Force Special Operations Command headquarters. And we worked all IT and cybersecurity for the base. I worked for the commander and had my own flight, doing QA training, mission planning, and exercises. It's like deployments, but practice. And trained up all that, also helped stand up the mission defense teams, which is the Air Force's own defensive and offensive operations to protect their assets, if you will, of all kinds, from ICS to airplanes to the actual IT assets. Switched over to the Special Operations School, taught there in 2018 until I got out of the Air Force at the end of 2019. Worked at the Defense Cybercrime Center's Cyber Training Academy, training in digital forensics, threat hunting, and pen testing, to put it simply, for the military as a contractor. Did that until last summer. Jumped over to INE, have been building out penetration testing student and the Learn Security Junior Penetration Testing exam, which, if you have seen this week, is about to launch, and worked alongside Alexi Ahmed, Hackersploit, and of course, Jack Reedy and Neal Bridges, whom you know from Cyber Insecurity if you've been around the channel at all. So that's about to come out. I've got exciting news. I will share it next week. When I was transitioning out of the military, I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know what I wanted. I was not looking at cybersecurity jobs. I was looking at project management. I was looking at business jobs, which is fine. I have an MBA. That's kind of what I thought I would be doing when I got out of the military. I did not, when I made my initial plans in my head, have cybersecurity in my belt buckle, in my like tool belt. When I went through cyber warfare school, the whole time I said, I do not want to do this when I get out. Ironically, met up with Stephen Semmelroth. We didn't meet up. We got introduced to Stephen Semmelroth through Operation Code. It's very much like VetSec, but not just security, but all IT developer and cybersecurity for veterans. It's a veteran community. He was recruiting for Rainier Cyber at the time and had many clients, and he put out, hey, if you need help with your resume, with getting jobs, if you want these sorts of jobs, hit me up, let's talk. And I'll never forget our first conversation where he called me Jason like 20 times. It's all right. I called him Stephen like throughout as well. We just talked on the phone yesterday. So we still have that same relationship. He is a West Point grad, did cybersecurity, got out, started his own recruiting company, has sold that to Stratacore, built up their recruiting and channel marketing and cybersecurity brand, and has now moved over to Avast and Avant, goavant.com. And he has mentored hundreds, like 400 some veterans, civilians, breaking into cybersecurity, in cybersecurity, just trying to get a job, trying to start a business. He's mentored all sorts. He has come up with some great resources. I've stolen his resources. I literally still use his resources. He's been on Gerry's stream, which this is also on Gerry's stream. Thank you, Gerry, for that. You rock. And I'm going to steal a bunch of what Neal Bridges has said and a lot of what Gerry himself and Joe Hudson have shared. And hopefully that's what I do. I take other people's information, I try to package it up into Josh branded stuff, and then I give it away. And we'll talk about brand in a little bit. But if you're here probably because of that. And you're probably thinking, I want to get into resume reviews. Just pull up my resume and show me what you think of it. I'll get there, I promise. I've got plenty of time this morning. I hope you do too. If you sent me your resume and you're waiting patiently to see it, and I'm taking forever, I am sorry, but I will cover. I've got 4. Someone sent one to me like 5 minutes ago. I'm not, maybe I'll pull that up, but I don't want to dig into my email while we're doing this. There is a lot going on with cyber insecurity. On Tuesday nights, Brent is getting close to wrapping up his Python course. I might jump in a couple weeks and do some Python for pen testers if I get the time and some bandwidth. Again, exciting news next week, and we'll see where that goes. On Wednesdays, we've got Brandon Krieger doing daily cyber, and he used to run the CISP study group. He's now gotten a CISP and is working as a consultant, and he's doing AMAs and a whole bunch of great stuff on Wednesday nights. Thursdays, I like to think that I am starting something crazy on Thursdays. Right after my stream, you can jump over to Gerry's stream. So I do need to get done by 10 o'clock so he can have his channel back. Gerry's going to do first things first, then he'll be back this afternoon with Rob Lee, which another Air Force Academy grad. I wish I had known him during our 3 years that overlapped at the academy. Great dude. And then after that, or is it before? Jax has Alyssa Knight on her channel on Outpost Gray. And then tonight, Davin Jackson's got Cybersecurity Unplugged on Alpha Cyber. And he's got another great guest. Tomorrow night, we've got Tipsy Cyber with my boss, and Jack Reedy, Sec IT guy. And I think he's still covering some more Boss of the SOC and some AMA. If you want to get into the head of a director of cybersecurity training and SOC analyst, blue teamer, go spend some time with Jack. It's always amazing stuff. Why am I doing a resume review? Well, through connections, and I want to do like a whole episode on how connections work, because putting yourself out there, having a brand, and making connections is how I've gotten to where I am. I am decently good at a lot of things. There's some things that I was really, really good at, There's some things that I'm like decently good at. This is not my art. I've made art. It is different. I am decently good at being a dad. But what I can do is take what other people have done and share that. So that is what I'm going to do today. But connections are super important. I've made some connections. I have connected with the guys at Black Hills Information Security, chiefly Jason Blanchard and Deb Wigley, who I reached out to when Gerry and I were looking at doing New Village. We put in a proposal with Tracy, and it did not get picked up for this year. We're going to try again next year. In that, had the conversation with Jason and Deb where, hey, we want to do this whole village at DEF CON. And they're like, that it's gonna be a lot. And I was like, yeah, that's cool. And Gerry was like what's a lot? And that's fine. It started the whole conversation. At a certain point, I wanted to get more involved with what Black Hills has been doing, and so reached out to Jason again, said, hey, is there anything more I could do with you guys? He's like, you know what? Velda. I'm gonna connect you to Velda. I told Velda what I had in mind for New Village, and she's like, do you want to come to Way West? And I was like, that would be amazing. So let me So I am going to be at Way West, San Diego on Wednesday, May 4th. Is it 4th or 5th? And there's a lot going on, but at 1 p.m. on Thursday and 1 p.m. on Friday, Kip Boyle and I are running a resume writing and mock interview workshop. Both days, 2.5 hours each day. And in order to prep for that, I figured I should get up in front of some people and do some resume reviews and tell you a little bit about what I think is important. There's some great people who are going to be at Way West. If you don't have tickets, I think they're still available. If you are not able to make it, that's fine. A lot of it is available virtually. A lot of this is stuff that, yeah, a lot of this is unique. There's a good deal that you might be able to get from the Pay What You Can anti-siphon training from Black Hills. And again, great people, great stuff going on. Sorry, just wanted to show you. And again on Friday and Thursday night, doing a hiring happy hour where we've got a couple vendors who are going to talk about what job positions they have open at their company. And then you can talk directly to recruiters and hiring managers. If you are at Way West, I think it'll be a good time. Also, I think there might be drinks at that happy hour. Resumes. Resumes are a way for you to share some information with a potential hiring manager, with a potential company. You are selling yourself. You are a B2B salesman when you are trying to get hired for a job. Now, there's a lot that might go into that, and you might be new to this whole concept. If you are, sorry, Chris, I'm not going to be able to get to that one. Maybe, we'll see. If you are new to careers and jobs in general, and this is your first resume, that is fine. Hopefully we can set some good things in motion and you can take those throughout the rest of your career. If you've been doing this for a while, hopefully I have some useful information for you and you can tweak a little bit of your approach. Either way, you're trying to sell yourself to a company that's going to pay thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of dollars for you to do something for them. When you go shopping, when I go shopping, when I want a thing, I'm going to do some research. Depending on what it is, I'm going to say, this is kind of my price range. If I'm buying a house, like, here's my price range. Like, it's set because I can only pay this much a month for my mortgage, or I only got this much cash on hand, whatever. For my car, I'm going to pay this much. For my mouse, I'm going to pay this much down here. But I'm going to go with at least a brand I know, a brand. There are different options when you go to Amazon or Best Buy or a car dealership, or you start looking at Zillow. There's things that you include and things that you exclude. The same is true for a recruiter and a hiring manager when they are looking for someone to do a job. I've got SOC analysts. I need to fill, or I've got positions open for SOC analysts. Who am I going to put in these positions? I'm not going to pay 200,000. I'm probably going to pay more than 30 grand. Where in there? I don't know. Depends on the job, depends on the person, depends on what our expectations are and what our budget is. Could I get 2 people for 60K that do like a really good job? Could I get 1 amazing person that'll do it for 120K? Well, I then need to fill something else, like another spot and another shift, because SOCs are 24/7. That's the whole purpose of them. All of that goes in the mind of the hiring manager and the person who is controlling the budget for a position. Thusly, you need to explain why you are this worth this amount. And you are worth a certain amount. You have worth. You need to understand your worth. You are not a Walmart brand product. You have put time and energy into creating something that is worthwhile. You have learned some things. You have studied. If you are here, you're putting in energy to be better at what you do. That's my expectation. I hope that's your expectation. If that's the case, then hopefully you understand. Sorry, just check and make sure that everything is working on YouTube. If that's the case, then you need to make sure that you are properly marketing that. There are several brands out there who do marketing really, really well. There's companies that do marketing very, very, very poorly. For example, think of Nike. Does Nike do good marketing? Got good sponsors. They have good advertising. When you think of Nike, you think of a certain level of quality, and you might think of a certain level of cost. And if you're going to go and buy something that is Nike branded on purpose, both those go into it. You're like, I want this quality and I'm willing to pay this cost. The same thing is going to work for a hiring manager. If they look at you and they go, I don't know what your brand is, I don't know what you're worth, and I don't know what your quality is. How can we fix that? One of the first ways is going to be your resume, which is what we'll cover today. The other is everything else. What do you have to show? Today, with social media influencers, which apparently I counted that, whatever. It's so easy for someone who is like not important to seem really important. There are many venues for getting your brand, your quality out there for others. So if you take Walmart brand, which there's no advertising, it looks just like everything else when you're at the store, it tastes just like the others when you cook it up, but it's a whole lot cheaper. There's not ads for it. There's not endorsements by professionals for it. It's just out there. We buy it because we can afford it. We buy it because I can't tell the difference between the $3 rice and the $20 rice. I'm going to get the $3 rice because I'm just going to make it taste really good with other stuff. I don't care. So if you want to be the $3 rice, you go on not having a brand other than I am the $3 rice. And then when you get a job, you get $3 rice pay. Or you can say, you know what? I stand out because of this and that and the other. I'm on Try Hack Me and I write about them. I make write-ups and I make posts on Twitter or LinkedIn or TikTok. I don't care. Do something to be like, I do stuff. I know what I'm talking about. I can write, I can speak, and I can show you that if you hire me, I can do these things and add value to your company. Because in the end, that's what they want. You are an investment and they expect some sort of return. They are trying to fill a hole and they need something that's worthwhile there, something that will get the job done. So in the same way that like I need a mouse, so I went and I got the mouse that I want, that I can pay for, that I'm comfortable paying for, and that does exactly what I need. And 6 years running, still doing great. What about you? Can I hire you, and in 6 years, am I still going to be happy and be like, I don't want to replace that. I like what I'm getting out of it. Or even better, like, this is amazing. I want this guy in charge and to bring in more like him or her. So, branding. That goes on in the back of my head. Thank you to Dr. Mansour Hasib for really poking and prodding me with that and putting out a great book on personal brand in cybersecurity. If you want it, go check it out. For the resume reviews, I am going to use this resume rubric, which is the bot working? It doesn't look like it is. If I've got BSEC or Net Fraser or someone, is it just me? That's fine. If someone can reset the bot, that'd be awesome. Neal Bridges has done a bunch of resume reviews, and because his brain just works in a certain way and he thinks of all these things automatically, that's great. Josh Binsfeld, Angry Amoeba, and Brent Eskridge put together all the things that they noticed Neal saying over and over again into this resume rubric. It's cyberinsecurity.tv, and if you go to resources and you'll see resume rubric, it says it's new. It's been around for a while. Just Chris needs to update the website. But we'll go through this. There is experience. So is your experience written in a way that shows you brought what value you brought to the company? Not just your job descriptions. And I'll get into details on that. No word soup. So skills vomit. Like I am skilled at Linux and Kali Linux and Ubuntu and Nmap and Metasploit. Those are annoying. There are better ways of showing your skills and your value than just listing a whole bunch of things. There's a proper way of doing that that actually gets across to the hiring manager that you know things, as opposed to, well, what'd you do with that? Like, how do you know that? Like, what level do you know? And why is that valuable to me? Or did you just go to the job posting and see like all of the technology there and then copy and paste it into your own resume? Like, do you have these skills? Am I gonna have to like go to an interview with you and then really dig in and be like, okay, so how do you add a filter for SMTP in Wireshark? Because you said you know Wireshark. And you go, I don't know. Well, if you say I did this and that and the other with Wireshark and Ncase and did a packet analysis and found with Security Onion these IOCs, okay. Now you make me think without me having to like really dig in an interview that you know what you're talking about. Again, I'll get into that in a bit. Length, you want a length that presents you. There are a lot of people who are like 1 page just because it's got to be fast. Well, it depends. If if I was hiring for a SOC analyst like level 1 and I'm going to get like 2,000 resumes and they're all entry level and they could all be right out of school and like a little bit of stuff, like yeah, I want it to be easier. If I'm hiring someone and I expect there to be like 20 applicants and we're going to pay 200 grand and I want someone who knows things, like I want to see that you know things. Like give me however many pages are required to do that. If you give me like a stack of papers or like 20-page PDF, like I'm not going through all that. Like give me useful stuff. You figure it out, but it's not like a set thing. It needs to be relevant to your experience. It's not just fluff. Also, you don't want to leave things out. So, and then bullets. Bullets are important. Bullets are crucial. Bullets are how you explain what you know and how you know it and how you showed it, how you added value to your previous companies, how you add value to those who you touch, even if you're not in a job. That is important right there. How do you add value, and how can I expect you to add value when you're working for me, when I'm a hiring manager? Those are the things that I want to see. So the way Neal puts it is what, so what, now what? Gerry and Stephen talked about it as action, um, outcome, and uh, effects, if you will. So maybe you were a sysadmin and you worked on something for you did trouble tickets. Trouble tickets come in, you process them. Your resume bullet might currently look like processes trouble tickets and helps customers. Okay, so how many did you do? You processed this many. What effect did that have? Like reset this many passwords and maintained the system for this many users with optimal uptime and great reviews from executives and directors. Thus, ending with this much uptime, happy customers, and this much revenue for the company that year. Like, were you part of that? Were you part of them selling something? Because a lot of people say this, cybersecurity is a cost center. I don't think it is. Cybersecurity is part of business operations. It is part of getting the job done. They have a building, they have infrastructure. Even if everyone's remote, you pay for laptops and accounts and software and cybersecurity. Those things are all investments that end with a return on investment. Some of it's easy, some of it's more complicated. You are part of that. So, what does the return on investment for you look like in an organization? Did you help make things possible? Put that in your bullet. I'll show some examples as we go through. So, this is the rubric that I will be using. And I've got a few. Actually, this one just came in. I just redacting it. So let's put it over here. There's a few things I want to point to you. Simplycyber.io, and then you go to free resources. There is cyber resume templates. And I wish Streamlabs was working, the bot was working, and would drop this if you put hyped exclamation point templates. But simplycyber.io, it's not that hard. There's a short form, there's a long form. These are great. Joe Hudson and Gerry came up with these. Very useful. The one I use is Stephen Semmelroth's. If you use Stephen Semmelroth, and then GitHub resume template, they'll come up. Hit me up on Discord or LinkedIn, and I'll drop you these links as well. I'll put them in the show notes, all of this too. It's the same thing that he's got over here on his Rainier Cyber Stratacore site. This is still up. I don't know how long it's going to be up because he's not with Rainier Cyber or Stratacore anymore, but it's good content if you, again, show notes or hit me up in a DM. But Stratacore, Rainier Cyber, like Mount Rainier, resumes, lots of great guidance. I'm going to be speaking a lot to this. Templates, which this is the exact same template. This is what my resume almost looks like, except I got rid of the Rainier Cyber logo. A lot of great info here. Then direct from the horse's mouth on Simply Cyber, you can hear Gerry and Stephen talk about resumes. And then on Cyber Insecurity, if you go to videos and then sort by popular, there is Ultimate LinkedIn Hacking, which is helpful. But this right here, did you hack your resume? It's about a year ago. A lot of people in our community have used this guidance. He reviewed resumes from folks in our community, and with the exact same mindset that I'm going to be using, this exact same template, and they've gotten the jobs they've wanted. It's been a great year for folks that I know. So those are all out there. Let's now jump and look at her resume. Actually, I'm going to try to be a good host and see, did anyone talk to me about stuff? Thanks, Victoria. Also, it's Josh. That is okay. 2,000 good resumes that look like this is perfectly fine by me. Awesome. Glad I could help with cyber supply drop stuff. Yes, I do have my coffee. I'm just hyped. I'm hype. All right. It's that chat. Sorry. Checking LinkedIn or YouTube. I don't have my moderator to helpfully drop things in chat for me. I can tell you I have not taken a civilian job that was less than 100,000. I also am in Maryland near DC doing cybersecurity with a clearance. So I'm unique, but I also know what my value is. So know your value, know what you're targeting, have your strategy for how you want to do it. So I have David Alusi. So experienced system administrator with good understanding of cybersecurity and analysis tools and software. And I do believe he gave me a job description of what you were looking for. This BT SOC analyst role. It looks like it's an entry-level SOC analyst. It's full-time. Not a bad job, it looks like. What you'll be doing if you're new to this all and you don't know what a SOC analyst, it's a security operations center. They sit and watch for alerts from their customers. They'll have client or endpoint software on their client systems. And if there's malware that's detected, if there's spam, if someone reports a problem, if Active Directory domain controller goes down, all of these sorts of things will throw alerts and they'll send them to the SOC. And the SOC works so that you don't have to have someone 24/7 watching for these things. You can hire it out to someone else and it gets aggregated and they usually have the resources to then act on it as well. SOCs are great. If your company needs a good SOC, hit me up in a DM and I know some great ones and good resources for your company of all different sizes. You let me know. I also do that. I'm also a consultant. So what you need, monitor, analyze, and defend against malicious and unusual activity. Okay, that's the job. Using technology, customer liaison, that's good. It's a 24-hour SOC. Here are the skills and experience that they say you'll definitely need, you might even have. That's what we want to be looking at because we're trying to say, hey, I fit what you need and what you're definitely looking for. That's what I'm trying to present in my resume. So let's see what they're looking for and see if we do fit. They want self-motivated, proactive, a lot of good soft skills in here, organized, commercially aware, inquiring mind. Here is actually like something measurable, possess a recognized formal qualification in cybersecurity. So that could be a certificate, that could be a degree. I don't know what exactly they're looking for. It could just be recognition. Do you know who doesn't have a degree and who doesn't have any certificates and who I would listen to and do listen to anytime he puts something out? Marcus Hutchins. Yeah, he's like 10 years younger than me and he's a genius. And he made poor choices when he was a kid, which is fine. But I want to have his empathy. I want to know about cybersecurity in the way that he does. No, no degree, no certs. Another one, Neal Bridges. No degrees other than community college of the Air Force. Hasn't worried about certificates in a while, other than that I'm pushing him for AWS cloud practitioner. Knowledge of various security methodologies and processes. Okay, so we need to be thinking, how do we show that we have knowledge of these things? Clearance, cool. And this is like the British version of public trust. If you're in the US, if you're in the UK, you might already know what MPP v3 is. Okay, if you've got experience in the SOC, just improvement or transformation projects. So have you made any Git pulls, any Git requests? Have you been part of a project that looks like something that they care about? Knowledge of TCP/IP, network security. Okay, that's something we could point to. Again, internet protocols and applications and networks. Cool. Those are nice to haves that they're talking about. Now let's look at David's resume and see, does it fit? Are you looking for rice and you want to buy rice, but you're looking at the beans part of the grocery store? We need to make sure that we are matching our branding to what they're looking for. Big picture, this resume, he's got it a little summary at the top. It's blank over there because I took out some of his personal information because you don't need his email or his phone number. Education and then skills, we'll get to that. Professional summary, again, these skills and summary are useful, but I would love to see them in employment or projects. Employment, and then he's got certifications down here. All right. That's all good and fine. Education looks like you've got a degree in cybersecurity. I feel like that is a good thing to show up front up there because they want to see some qualification in cybersecurity. Having a degree in it is useful. Things that I'm not a huge fan of, relevant courseware. It's like, okay, this could be helpful. You've studied these things, neat. What really I want to know is what projects did you do? What did you do in that year that you were studying? Did you build a tool? Did you build a repository? Did you spend this much time on TryHackMe? Do you have a 180-day streak? Do you have a 365-day streak on TryHackMe? What's your ranking? Like, do you have Blue Team Labs online experience? Did you do your own lab? Took this information, built my own lab, and or maybe you worked on some of this and did open source projects. That's kind of some sort stuff I would love to see in there. This relevant courseware. This is kind of what I assume when you have a degree in cybersecurity. But also that just could mean that you study this stuff and you pass tests. And is that valuable to me? I don't know. Probably for this role, maybe. And then your tools and skill set. What do you know about Windows? What do you know about Linux? What do you know about Mac? Like you say these things, but like to what extent and in which way? Does that make any sense? Hopefully you could tie this into either projects that you've done, things that you've studied, or work that you've done as a system administrator. So taking these things and then plugging them into those different areas. So if it's a project, if it wasn't for work, if it was for volunteer or on your own, built a home lab that included pfSense, Security Onion, and uh, Windows Defender, and with that, indicator, I don't know, found IOCs from an intruder, maybe practiced alerts with your own pen testing against your own system, something along those lines. But if you built a home lab, if you have your own network setup that shows that you've done these things, that would be useful. Penetration testing. Okay, so what have you done? Did you do TryHackMe? Did you work on a cert? Did you do your own home lab? Putting things into a frame of reference is a little more helpful. I have a home lab where I run Ubuntu and Docker and load up known vulnerable services on there and then attack them and exploit them. That makes way more sense than just penetration and vulnerability scanning. Do you run Nessus scans on your own system? Do you use Wireshark to look at your own network traffic for anomalies? Because a lot of this is useful. Using FTK, Imager, Autopsy, and Ghidra, and volatility, that's how you would do it. Yes, but how have you used it? Did you do a project? Did you simulate a full forensics investigation against looking for these IOCs, utilizing these tools for a course? Say that. Just tell a story. Don't just bleh. Blah sounds like blah. If I was hiring for this, like, I don't know, you're going to stand out and have a different brand based on how you present yourself. If everyone does this, okay. You could look even better by presenting yourself more. Sorry, talking a lot. All right, professional summary. Now you go into some more details. I like that you're telling a story with sentences rather than just bullet points. But how do you have knowledge of information security management, inclusive of ISO 27001? Which this one's good. I like this because in the job description, they talk about that you're going to support and maintain the ISO 27001 certification. So if they're using that and you've got experience in that, that's awesome. But where's your experience from? Did you study it? Did you do a project? Do you have a report? Did you analyze of an organization utilizing ISO 27001 and what their suggested strategy should be for implementation as a project for one of your courses? Because I could see that. I've done something similar for business cases. Spell that out there, especially in this situation. Okay, so you know how to analyze how we comply with ISO 27001, and maybe when you get here, you can be like, okay, I see you guys have already done this, so this is what's next. You can be part of the process of improvement. As opposed to this, like, maybe, I don't know how much you know about it. You know the words, but like, what have you done with it? Soft skills, I kind of like this, but truth be told, I would love to see this in what you did for your job. If you have strong communication skills, like, and then down here, first point of contact for data related queries, back here on the job description, it talked about being, where was it? Be a customer liaison during events and incidents, showing empathy, ownership, and speed to response. Let's take their language. Did you show ownership, empathy, and a speed response when working with customers? You said you had strong communication skills and that you were the first point of contact. Let's take exactly what they said and turn that into a bullet of, I worked with this many, and you can guesstimate. You can kind of, okay, how many tickets did I do a day? How many people did I work with each week? Let's say there's 50 weeks in a year, multiply your weekly number by 50, pop that in there if it's accurate. If it's outrageous, then like figure out something more accurate. Worked with this many customers, ensuring that I was empathetic and took ownership of the situation, ending with a speed response, in closing these tickets, gaining myself a promotion, gaining myself a commendation from leadership. Did anyone notice? Getting high reviews from customers or personnel required our assistance. Put in better language that, but, or a less wordy sentence, but show what you did in their language, use their language. They want something, match what they want, especially if you did that, if you were empathetic and took ownership. Then use that. Now what? How much, like, or what, so what? So why does that matter? Why does it matter that you did that thing? What value did that add? You did a thing, you were empathetic to customers. Awesome. Helped this many customers. Oh, that's good. Ended up with the year having like this much downtime, like only losing one day of business because of password resets or network downtime. Oh, okay. Well, that's awesome because we don't want to have downtime. So when you get over here, I can expect that you'll be part of making sure that we don't have downtime. Great. That's good. So what? Now what? So what? or what? So what? Now what? Why does that matter now to me? Because remember, you're sent to a hiring manager, the other person looking at this. This is great. You're putting a lot of information out here, but this is a lot of bullets just showing what a system administrator does. And you've got some specifics with ServiceNow, and you've got a lot of acronyms, which make sense to me, but will they make sense to someone who doesn't have the system admin background? Maybe the SOC analyst or the SOC manager didn't work with this stuff. It's different than what they work with. Maybe the recruiter isn't familiar with system administration. They kind of know cybersecurity. And so when you start throwing in acronyms specific to network or system administration, they might be like, I don't know what that means. That's not helpful. That's not adding value. That is like something on the label that like I'm going to skip over because I don't know what it means. So with those, it's a lot of bullets. I don't know that this is long enough or too long because be told I'm not getting a lot out of these bullets. This doesn't show me like what you can do for me and why I should pay for it. Because there's other people who could probably do this stuff. You showed up to work and you did stuff. Good. Why should I pay you what you're asking for or what I'm expecting over here at this company? Why do you stand out versus the other people? So let's go through grading then. So experience. Was your written in a way that shows value brought to a company? No. No, you showed up and you did work. And even your skills, they're not bad skills, but like how did you present that? You didn't present it in a way that was like, oh, okay, I want that guy to come work for me. You have word soup. I'm giving you a pour for that because you've just got like lists of skills, both here and down here. It's not that amazing. The length works. I don't know. I would want to see replacements of things where you've got your skills, where you've got your work experience. I want something more valuable put there, and it doesn't need to even be as long as it is, because I think with 3 or 4 good bullet points for each job, you could really show that you are self-motivated and proactive. Maybe you started a bunch of projects and you did a whole bunch of things that were not asked of you, that were around ServiceNow or processes and policies in your organization that you saw needed improvement and you were self-motivated to take action on those. I want to see that instead of just what you did day to day. Did you have an inquiring mind? Did you learn new stuff? You just got a new degree. It's great, but like what have you also done since then? Because it was a couple months ago, but still, what else have you done? Would love to see some projects that you work on, some things where you stretch yourself more than just through a courseware or through training. Did you set up a home lab? Have you written any blog articles? Have you made any videos? Do you post about this? Have you read anything that you've shared with people? Take it back to branding. You don't have a GitHub repository on here. You don't have your socials for LinkedIn or Twitter on here. There's no way of seeing like if you've done anything that your resume doesn't show. Maybe you have a personal website where you show a whole bunch of this stuff, and going there, I would learn how you work with other people, what your mindset looks like, how you do research, and how you explain yourself. That'd be really great to see and see linked here. Maybe you don't have a website. Maybe you don't have LinkedIn. Maybe you don't have Twitter. I would suggest you come up with something, some way of you presenting and branding and marketing yourself that's not just this piece of paper. That's another thing. If you have one leg of your stool and it's not amazing, that's harder. If you have multiple legs of your stool and they're all decent, that is something else. So if you've got a LinkedIn where you're semi-active, if you've got Twitter where you're semi-active and you're involved in communicating about the things that a SOC analyst is thinking about and talking about. Do you follow JJ Davies? Do you follow Black Hills Information Security? Are you participating in the free webinars? Are you taking free training? Are you sharing that stuff? Do you talk about the latest ransomware, the latest incidents, and how you would approach those things as a SOC analyst, or what you think would need to happen as a SOC analyst? You've studied digital forensics. You know how to use FTK Imager and Wireshark. Let's see some blog posts. Maybe you have a decent enough camera and you can get like a $40 headset. I don't know. I know you're not in the US or the UK, but or maybe you are in the UK, but can you get some things that then you could create videos? If that is your way of explaining things, great, use that. Can you write blog posts? Can you at least write a tweet? Could you make tweets once a day, once a week? Something. Doesn't have to be, you don't have to be a social network influencer, but can you put out something that I can go to and be like, okay, this guy's involved. This guy knows things. This guy is still learning. He is still growing. And you know what? I think if he showed up at work with us, we could have conversations and we could get greater value than just someone who clocks in, clocks out, and can process alerts when they pop up. So your brand. So relevant summary and bullet rules. You didn't do what, so what, now what with any of them. You just, I did these things. I did things. And it sounds that exciting. So that's the first one. David, it's fine. We're doing this review not because you're a horrible person, not because you suck at like writing a resume. It's because there's room for improvement. And you've studied, you've done LinkedIn training. I saw you've grown, you've been a system administrator, so you understand that processes can improve. That's what we're doing here, is we're just improving processes. My resumes, even my current resume, has a lot of things that need to be fixed, and that's fine. I'm of the mindset that you learn how to do things, and then you spend a lot of time getting good at making them amazing. Back in college, I skied a little bit because we were in Colorado, and skiing initially is not hard. You just point the skis down the hill and you'll get to the bottom of the hill. You might fall a lot, you might crash, you might hurt yourself, but in general, it's not like hard. Becoming really good and competing at the Olympics takes a lot of work and a lot of improvement. Snowboarding, initially, like the first day, first couple days, you might be really, really bad at it. I know I was. And but it's easy to get to a point where you're like, whoa, I feel really good, and you can do and stretch and do more things. But again, it is a continual improvement process. Writing a resume is going to be the same way. Not a lot of us have tons of experience in this, and by the time you do have tons of experience, your resume should look and feel like that. And if it doesn't now, that is perfectly fine. Just know that there's work that you can put into it. So things I would recommend, David, for you, take your skills, plug them into projects, either for school, for personal, or for work that you've done, and show how you've used them in a way that is relevant to this job. Some of your ServiceNow work, does it apply? If it applies to this job, highlight that. Otherwise, leave it out. I have done somewhere between like 700 and 800 landings in a C-130 on 5 different continents. And that doesn't matter for any of the job posts I've ever applied for. Is it cool? Yeah. Is it something I had to do as a pilot? Yeah. But like, does it matter for the job I'm doing now? No, not at all. Even my flying experience, I did a bunch of additional jobs because that's how the Air Force and being an officer works, is you have like a thing and then you have what you really do for the 35 hours of the week that you're not flying. And I highlight those things that are relevant to what I'm trying to do now in cybersecurity. But the flying, this thing that I spent so much time, the Air Force spent millions of dollars training me to do, doesn't apply to anything. So I just don't talk about it in my resume. I'll talk about it over beers or on a layover or just for fun, but not in my resume because it doesn't show value in the role that they're trying to fill. So take a look, see if there is any big questions. Anti-free home project seam recommendations. Graylog's fine. Waza is fine. I think Waza's Security Onion. Lima Charlie isn't SaaS EDR, which is really cool. Connect with those guys on LinkedIn. Gerry has shown how to use the Lima Charlie tool on Simply Cyber. It's pretty neat. ComSec custodian for 4 years. Nathan, thanks. How can I translate that to cybersecurity field? Oh my gosh, ComSec custodian. So you know how to do access logs. You know how to properly control and handle an audit, information and technology. If you know anything about TCP/IP and vulnerabilities, you put those three together, and you are quite valuable to all different levels. But yeah, I love my 3C OX2s or OX1s, ComSec custodians. All right, nothing too crazy over there. Yeah, if you are over on Gerry's channel, I am on YouTube. I'm not watching. I'm trying to get your stuff in Restream. I'm not currently working for the DoD, but I've got big news next week. Oh, hey, Nightbot's running on Gerry's stream. That's annoying. Sorry, Victoria. I've literally have a package coming to me today that's labeled to Jason Mason. FedEx told me. It's like, hey, you got something coming to Jason Mason. I was like, awesome. So it happens quite regularly. All right. What time is it? 9:30. Who's mentioning me? Can't right now, Sick Prime. All right. Sorry. Pretend like I'm not. All right. Andrew Hickman did not get a job that he's applying to. I think that one applies to this one. Yeah, that's Joseph's. Okay. But he's a junior SOC analyst. All right. So we'll just do, we don't have something to compare it to. So let's run through bullets, overall summary, experience, word soup, and length. And just general. So Andrew is a junior SOC analyst. I would drop junior personally. Just say that you're a SOC analyst. If you've been doing it, perfect. I know your job description probably says you're a junior SOC analyst, and this goes into experience. Is it just one page? Yeah. Previous experience as well. Oh, you did yours very interestingly. Okay. A lot of people just put their job title as their company claims it. Like right now at INE, I am a red team instructor. If I put that on my resume, a lot of people will be like, all right, then you're a pen tester. It's like, well, here's a fun fact. I've never been on a pen test. So I am a training content developer. That's what I do. I'm a cybersecurity training content developer. I create training content that's cybersecurity related. And I've been teaching cybersecurity for 2 years, and I've been teaching overall for almost 4 years. And before I was teaching Introduction to Special Operations and Special Operations Forces Air Command and Control. I can teach all sorts of stuff. My superpower there is in teaching and explaining things. It's not showing, hey, my experience in this has led me to that. What I can do is reach out to Neal Bridges and Alexi Ahmed and all the other sources that I have for knowledge on how to do these things, pull that all together, and then explain that usefully to students. So, red team instructor, sure. Content training developer or training content developer. I think that's what I put on my most recent resume. Because I also came up with a training needs assessment. I also helped develop a beta team program and a partner program with other experts in the field. Also stood up, helped stand up the DoD military federal kind of sales and marketing perspective at INE, getting people to start looking at the largest customer for cybersecurity and training in the world. Because, you know, when you're doing cybersecurity training, useful to look for where the money's at. So yeah, drop what you need in your job title because that's, you know, what they call you. That's what they hired you for. What do you actually do? Just because you were a junior system administrator, like, did you also do this or that or the other? Make your job title on your resume. Don't lie, but make it explain fully what you do, what you did at that job. Okay, seeking a SOC analyst role. I know you're seeking that because you applied for the SOC analyst job that I posted on LinkedIn. You don't need to say it in your resume. This is, sorry, when I saw it, it was a pet peeve that, like, don't put things that are going to peeve people off from the beginning. Put useful, relevant stuff. And here's why you did it, and I get why. Because your current role is your supermarket home delivery department. And it's COVID related, and I know it looks like you are a student or you are new in your career. And so a lot of your bullets sound like that. The thing that I do like so much is this. And you should turn around and use this more. You have a website. And like, not everyone needs a website, but when your resume looks like this and your job experience is that you did nothing in cybersecurity for money, then this is really, really, really helpful. I do wish you organize things a little different. I want this near the top. This stuff's good. SOC analyst intro. If you are not in Blue Team Labs online, if you don't have like Splunk on your home office, there you go. That is good. And try Hack Me write-ups. That's awesome. Okay, cool. You've got a write-up for Splunk 101. This is the stuff you should have on your resume. Because I don't like reading your resume. I'm sorry. Please don't be offended. Josh Mason's opinion, it's take it for what it's worth. It's free and it's worth about that. So I don't enjoy reading this. I don't want to go through and read every bullet. It's word soup. It's you're saying a lot without actually saying much. Things that you could put. Ways that this doesn't help you. This is not ATS friendly. There is no way that you drop this into a like LinkedIn or company career website and the ATS applicant tracking system. It's a SaaS solution that companies purchase and they connect to their HR. And when you drop your resume, it's got keywords and it's going to go through the resume, searching for those keywords, searching for certain things, spitting out analysis on the other end. And HR is then going to go, okay, the people who have like these higher percentages, I think a lot of them have pie graphs, a lot of them have bar charts, a lot of them just have numbers, and how relevant you are to the job description they put out means that they'll just drop. They'll be like, all these that are like zeros, drop. Don't even want to see them because I've got 2,000 of these to go through. The ones that are below 30%, don't care about. The ones that are 60 or below, like, okay, let's take a look at those. The ones that are above that, that's where I'm going to start. If I got one that's 100 on my ATS, like you know, the things I know how to do in HR as a recruiter are go into the ATS, find the things that are 100, read through them, look at the job description, be like, this matches. Gonna pass it off to the hiring manager. I don't know what any of the stuff on it means. I just know like this word is the same as this word. That's your lowest common denominator as a recruiter in an ATS. Make your resume friendly to those people. Thus, use and I throw out Stefan's thing because when Stefan started his recruiting company that got a lot of people hired in really high paying cybersecurity jobs. The first interview he got me to walk into pays more than I've made ever in a job. I didn't get that job because I didn't have the experience, and I'm kind of glad I didn't. I learned some things afterwards, but he went out and read so many books on how to write the perfect resume, and they conflict. Like my opinion and someone else's opinion might conflict. That's perfectly fine. You came here for mine. That's what you're getting. You disagree. That's perfectly fine. That's if you've got reasons, awesome. Good. Have reasons. If you don't like my opinion, that's fine too. I'm not hurt. But he went through, made this template based off of also getting the 12 top ATS software and playing with them and seeing what hits and what doesn't hit, what kind of format works best with those and which ones don't. And this 2 columns messes up a lot of ATSs. The fact that you don't have bullets and that you don't have like a lot of words that hit. So I kind of like this one. Set a virtual machine using VMware, Kali / Debian, Linux on a daily basis to learn CLI. That's not bad. And I think you said, did you use over the wire somewhere? I thought I saw it on your website maybe. What I would do is get rid of the 2 columns. This can be more than 1 page, but you've done a lot of training and a lot of personal stuff, and you've got a home lab that's VMs at least. I would highlight more of those, and if anything, be like, what are you? You're a junior security researcher right now, or I don't even put that. Just put what your real job is right now. You right now are a team lead. You're a supermarket team lead. That's perfectly fine. You know what that tells me? That you can show initiative, that you perform, that you show up on time, and that people put responsibility on you to be in charge of others. That's huge. I want that instead of junior socket analyst at the top. I want to see that you're a leader and that people trust you. I want to see your experience. How long were you there? And then how did you, so what, now what for that? Throw those there. If you don't have a degree, that's fine. Then you've got training. You've got a whole bunch of personal projects. You've built a home lab, so you could put personal projects and slash training. Home lab built VMs for Kali and Debian. What others you've done to complete this many try hack me rooms, and with this percentage, like top 5, top 10, top whatever you are, top 1%, ranked number so and so in my country. Lola Carena, I don't think she's on here today. She's at INE. She's like number 2 in Japan on Try Hack Me, and she's been at it, killing it, amazing. Something you should put on your resume if you're number 2 in your country, if you're number 1 in your country, if you're number 10 in your country, like put it on your resume that you've completed these courses, that you've gone to this training. That is your strength right now. So put those projects, put that training, and put it in a way that's easier to read than this. So you definitely have word soup. It's just put it in a strange way. I don't know what your current job responsibilities are that show value to me. You don't need to justify why you're looking for a new job. That's perfectly fine. Everyone understands why people are looking for new jobs. So this personal plea, don't feel bad about it. Like, you're transitioning jobs. Awesome. That might come up in the interview of like, so you were doing that, like, why are you coming into this? Your reason, it's up to you. It's perfectly fine. There are plenty of videos on how to, Jerry's got a bunch of them on SOC, on how to answer that question. Stefan's got them too. For why do you want this job versus the other job? And truth be told, honesty and showing that like you care about what the company does and the mission and wanting to be a part of that, it's perfectly fine. Because it's probably true. Like, why do you want to be a SOC analyst? I got this feeling you want to stop incidents and help protect people. It's what most people do when they want to get into this. I've been around the military for a while, and when I talk to people about why they want to be in the military, it's usually help people. Sometimes it's make some money. There's other ways and easier ways to make money. Often it comes down to they want to help people. If that's what you want to do, say it. But you don't need to say it in your resume. It's fine. Say what you do. You could even have some good bullets from your current company. Like, you manage this many customers in order to have like turn out this many deliveries annually or monthly or weekly with a satisfaction of this amount, because people can leave satisfaction like 5 stars, 4 stars, a percentage, something showing that like your team that you're leading turns out results. You are doing that. Guess what? If I put you in a SOC, like, can we train you in the skills? Sure. So it's like you can learn skills. Awesome. But what I really care about is, can you perform, and could you eventually become a team lead? Because I'm investing. I don't just want Joe Schmo. Like, I could go find Joe Schmo in like an hour. I put out a job description and I'm going to go through a bunch of resumes because I want someone of value. Show that you have that value. I can run a team and make stuff happen. Tell it here. You can organize people and motivate them and make them come in on time, make them do a good job. I can't teach that. I have no idea how to teach that. I could help train that. Did that at the academy. Done that with my teams. But like, I can't do a courseware that shows how to do it. So if you are able to do it, like, that's valuable. You learn that somewhere. You learn that on like School of Hard Knocks, working with people. That's valuable, and I want to hire that. All right. Cool. Sorry, the commands and stuff are not working, guys. Streamlabs doesn't like me. Yeah. I'll just close it. Oh, Chris, now you're here. All right. Time 9:45. That's fine. I can go. I can do one more. That's what I was kind of planning. Yeah, Kirk, I got yours this morning. If I do this again, I'll hold on to yours and I'll do it next time. Probably not next week. Again, changes are coming. So I'll run through this one. I've heard my spiel. This is for Joseph Kaczynski. I know you woke up early. You were looking forward to this. I wanted to make sure that I cover this for you. But it looks like you're looking for a senior security and compliance specialist at Cruise. Cruise is doing self-driving cars in San Francisco. For anyone who isn't familiar, I did a little bit of research so I could prepare for this. So they want you for their trust and assurance team, build trust with regulators, investors, and the internal teams. You're going to own their risk management program and their information security management system. Okay, they're working with 27001, 800, 171. Yeah, sure. Okay, they're just going to use whatever framework works for them. Got it. And interested in developing brand new ways to manage security risk. Okay, you'll be working with stakeholders. They're looking for experience in frameworks, CIS, NIST, ISO. They want some cloud experience, standing of fundamentals. Yeah, right, because you're a senior, so you should know the fundamentals. Drive consensus. So they're looking for some stuff there. Experience Big Four. So they want some certs. Degrees, nice. Okay. Makes sense. And then yours. So it looks like you found Stefan's because this is what mine looks like. Almost exactly for those who are curious. It's set up here. Bold, same typeset, underlines, career summary, experience, then education. Yeah. Nice. Well done, Joseph. So cybersecurity professional and veteran, 15 years, highly adaptable, history. Okay. This is a lot. This is a lot of words. This is a lot of words, and it's not a great, I don't think it's a great summary of why you should be in this role. I want 2 sentences. I want things that point out that you know how to share risk with stakeholders. If like they've said it in here, they've said it in here, they want someone who can help develop. Can you develop a risk management strategy? I think you can. I've looked through your stuff before. I think you've got the idea. So put that in your summary. You're looking for this. I bring this. Boom. Let's get this done. Send me the offer letter. That's what your career summary should say. Like, you're looking for this. Well, guess what? I got you covered. I got all those things here. 2 sentences. Boom. You're looking for that thing. Let me present that to you. Because I've read through your stuff and you've got it. Certifications is useful here. We're asking for certifications. Other people have different ideas. For this role, I think it works. Then your experience, you've been doing cyber information assurance and cybersecurity, network engineer for contracts, looks like. SaaS. Okay. You've got a lot going on here that may or may not apply. I want some what, so what, now what. You were military, I'm sure you did. Though, truth be told, I was kind of confused. I did not see, yeah, your military experience on here. Even if it doesn't apply, even if you were like supply chain or cook, kind of want to see that you did something because I'm sure You can't go 4 years without being a leader. You can't do any sort of contract in the military without being a leader of some level. It's what we train people to do. So I want to see that. Even if it's one bullet, if you can turn it into 2 bullets, money about leadership and about your soft skills, if nothing else. If it doesn't apply technically to what you're trying to apply to now, but it helps with your soft skills and maybe your project management, your program management mentality, that'd be really useful to see. Also, you said veteran, and so then I'm looking for your vet experience. I'll just say it's not that I don't trust you. I'm just looking. Also, as a veteran, I'm like, well, what did you do? Like, did we cross paths? Were we deployed together? Um, and it looks like you started civilian stuff in 2009. So no, we didn't. But I'm so curious. Even if it was, I don't know. Even if you got hurt at training, like, let's put that. Let's put something. Or just know that it's going to get brought up in the interview. Like, if I get in front of you, I'm going to ask, like, so you said veteran experience. Like, where were you? What'd you do? Just as a curious veteran. That's fine, Rec Room. You can. There's no length requirement. The 2 pages, and you didn't fill up the whole 2 pages, so you can put it on there. It's if you take your whole experience, like you got out in 2005. If you did 20 years, if you did 4 years, I am curious. If you did 20 years doing a thing, awesome. Like because you can't go 20 years without being a good leader, without being part of some cool projects. Um, and truth be told, I care more about that than a lot of this stuff. Routinely interfaced and briefed many of the senior military. This is what did I do in the job? Right. Okay, that's what I would expect from a network engineer at DISA, is that you interface and brief senior people. Give me a what, a so what, and a now what. Why do I care about that now? Performed this many briefs to top levels for what end? To create new policies? To change the whole infrastructure of DISA? To set new infrastructure for or a new policy and strategy going forth for all systems connected to DISA? Because that's kind of huge. Was it the building? Was it Fort Meade? Was it all of the DoD? Um, and it looks like, yeah, deploying systems over 38,000 customers. So that's some numbers. Designed, configured, implemented secure network, enabling. Okay, that's a good bullet. Curious if you could clean up. There's a lot of jargon. I get it. This makes sense to me, but would the hiring manager over here? I gotta jump off so Gerry can have his stream back soon. This hiring manager at Cruise understand what all the stuff is that you did at DISA? Is there a way that you could turn it into generic, like senior leader, as opposed to JSP for yeah. So joint service provider program, that makes sense to me. Joint service provider program, does that make sense to the hiring manager over at Cruise? I don't. If he worked with this at all, then maybe. But if he didn't, then it's just words. Like the Pentagon's overall network program, I think there's a better way of like saying that. So translate your military speak. Like this is an OPR, EPR that like reads fine if you're like promoting to sergeant major or senior master sergeant or major. Like I get a lot of this language, but for a civilian, like there's just a little bit of translation that you need to do. So you don't have word soup. Your experience does kind of translate. I would take your career summary and really hone it to this specific job. I would take some of your bullets and hone them down to this specific job. They want to know if you built a program for security management. Great that you did network program stuff because you were a network engineer. It makes sense. But is there like, do you need 3 bullets to show how that experience there is relevant to what you want to do at Cruise? I'd boil it down and make it easy for the hiring manager and HR. It's not bad. It's good. I like your template. I like your layout. Glad you're finishing up this. Your technical tools, I would love to see this in your projects. Okay, this is not bad at all. I like this projects more than some of the others I've seen today. Yeah, hope that's useful. Hit me up on LinkedIn, Joseph, if you've got more questions, or on Discord, and we'll go into it more there. But not bad overall. Does this make sense to people? All right. I do need to get off so Gerry can have his stream back. Lots going on today. First things first with Gerry now. He's with Rob Lee this afternoon. Jax is with Alyssa Knight this afternoon. And then Davin Jackson is going to be live at 6 on Alpha Cybersecurity tonight. A lot of great stuff. Tipsy Cyber tomorrow night. Join us on the Cyber Insecurity Discord for more follow-up if you want to chat with me. And I've got big news coming out next week. So with that, you guys have a great rest of your week. And thank you for joining in.